the intentions of the Israeli right are quite clear. They want to prolong the campaign against Hamas and against the Palestinian people in perpetuity. But in reality, there are regional and international constraints, and there are also the constraints of the Israeli public. I don't think that the Israeli public is interested in prolonging this war longer, especially after the release of the living hostages. But I think it is still clear that the Israeli right is interested in a forever war, and the world can stop it, and the world is indeed stopping it, I think.
Well, speaking of what the world is doing, of course, we're having that international meeting, some 20 leaders gathering in Sharm el-Sheikh this Monday, headed by the US President Donald Trump. The Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, will be taking part, but no Israeli delegation. What do you make of this meeting?
Yeah, I think I was very happy to hear that there will be participation by Palestinians in this conference, because obviously the Trump peace plan, as it is called, has one critical problem in it, namely that no Palestinians were involved in drafting it. So the introduction of Palestinians into the process in this stage is welcome. I think that the fact that Israel is not going to partake is due to the simple fact that Israel is not interested in a peaceful settlement of the Israeli-Palestinian issue. That has been a clear position by the Israeli cabinet and by the majority of the Israeli Knesset. They are not interested in the two-state settlement. They are not interested in any peaceful settlement with the PA or with Hamas or with any other Palestinian leadership. So in reality, the whole peace process is being outsourced to the US and to European and Arab states. And that's what we're going to see in Sharm el-Sheikh. I am not very hopeful about that, because there's a need for the two people to engage directly, but it is something. It is something.
But do you think Donald Trump has enough sway over Benjamin Netanyahu to get him on side if he, proposes a new group to dialogue with on the issue, and perhaps not Mahmoud Abbas directly, but another Palestinian Authority?
I think that Donald Trump has incredible power as any American president, but even more so on the Israeli leadership. And I think that more than that, Donald Trump has incredible power over the Israeli public. In his statement early in his administration about the proposal to ethnically cleanse Gaza, what he called the Gaza Riviera, he, single-handedly legitimized ethnic cleansing within the Israeli public, leading to a huge majority supporting it, because the US president said it. Just as well, President Trump can decide that he will push peaceful settlement between Israelis and Palestinians, and he has the power to legitimize that in the eyes of the Israeli public. So does he have sway over Netanyahu? I'm not sure that Netanyahu's coalition will be able to enter such negotiations, but I think that the Israeli government is at the end of its road, and Trump can play an important part in changing the narrative about what it is that we want in regards to the Palestinians. I'm not very hopeful about that, but I think he does have the capability to do so.
Well, indeed, it was going to be my next question to Mr. Flaschenberg. I mean, where are Trump's goals in all of this? I mean, I know he would be attached to the Abraham Accords and bringing countries, on board to normalize their relations with Israel, notably perhaps Saudi Arabia. Is that where he might be able to negotiate and get Israel to sit down at the table and recognize the rights of Palestinians?
I think it would be a great mistake to once again, as in the Abraham Accords, offer some kind of peace settlement with countries that Israel is not in conflict with, instead of engaging meaningfully with the Palestinians. I think this was always Netanyahu's approach. We're gonna do peace with Pakistan instead of doing peace with Palestinians, or we're gonna do peace with Saudi Arabia instead of doing peace with Gaza. I think this was always Netanyahu's approach. I think Netanyahu introduced that into the thinking of the Trump administration, the first one, and I think that would be a great mistake. The issue is the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. The issue is what Israel did in Gaza, which was a genocidal attack. The issue is the ongoing occupation that was declared as illegal by the ICJ just last year. I think that the only meaningful solution could be by engaging between Israelis and Palestinians and leading to a Palestinian state on the 67 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital.
Is that for you still the best way forward? We were just speaking to a historian a little more than half an hour ago who brought forward the idea of a bi-national state where everybody would, of course, have that equal rights that is so necessary and which is not happening today.
Yeah, I heard the interview with Professor Zand, and I appreciate him a lot. I think that the idea of a binational state is legitimate, is positive in principle, but I think that what needs to happen in the first stage in any, no matter what's your vision, I think that the first stage that needs to happen is the end of the occupation, the end of Israeli rule over Palestinians, and a sovereign Palestinian state. I think that's the first stage in any peaceful settlement.
Indeed, because while we speak about the release of the hostages and the release of Palestinian prisoners, the Israeli blockade on Gaza continues. I mean, we're starting to see a trickle of aid go in, but that's been in place for many years, and I believe it's only slightly lifted since the ceasefire came into effect.
Yeah, the siege is ongoing, and the ethnic cleansing that is happening slowly but surely in the West Bank, with settler violence, with military violence, with the idea of squeezing the Palestinians into smaller and smaller enclaves in the West Bank. All of these processes are still going on. All of these processes that are illegal by the ICJ, according to the ICJ's opinion just last year, are still ongoing. The Israeli political system is still oriented toward domination and Jewish supremacy and apartheid. Let's use the proper word. I think all of these things did not change yet, but there is an opportunity now to change direction, I believe. I insist on seeing this moment as one of hope, although the massive genocidal attack that Israel conducted in Gaza will not be forgotten. But I insist on looking at this moment as a moment in which some other avenues for a better future for both people is possible.
Okay,